Alter ego effect. You ever notice how you show up differently depending on who's in the room? More confident with some people, smaller with others? That's not fake. That's your brain switching identities based on context. Now imagine choosing the identity on purpose. The alter ego effect is what happens when you deliberately construct a separate self to perform under. Dr. Todd Herman studied this across Olympic athletes and executives and found one consistent truth. When you remove your personal ego from the performance, fear disappears with it. Because fear of failure needs a self that can be embarrassed. A constructed identity has nothing to lose. In 2003, Kobe Bryant's world was collapsing. Brands leaving, reputation in ruins, game cracking under the pressure. He told his coach he was losing his edge. His coach said, "You're not losing your edge, you're losing your identity." So they built a new one, the Black Mamba. First game, 62 points. Month later, 81 points. 2 more championships. Same man, different identity. Cassius Clay became Ali. Ralph Lipskitz became Ralph Lauren. A 300-pound man with a brain tumor named himself Charlie Rocket and became a Nike athlete. The name isn't the point. The decision to become someone new is. Who do you need to be in this next chapter? Name them. Decide how they move, what they don't tolerate, what they're no longer afraid of. Put them on before the next moment that matters. Hyper-competitive motivation. Think about the last time someone told you that you couldn't. How did it feel? Now, did you use it or did you swallow it? Elite performers don't just feel doubt, they store it. Psychologist Robert Reichman studied the most competitive people on Earth and found they treat perceived slights as a resource, something to draw from deliberately when motivation runs dry. A 2020 study confirmed it. Athletes using directed motivational anger outperformed positive motivation athletes by 23% under pressure. The difference isn't feeling the anger, it's controlling where it goes. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school team at 15. He went home and cried, then he filed it, kept a mental archive of every dismissal, every doubt, every underestimation for 2 decades and 6 championships. He even invented slights from opponents before big games when no real ones were available. He was that committed to having something to play against. Start your list. Every time someone said you couldn't, write it down. Don't live in it. Save it. When you need one more gear, open the file. They funded your motivation without knowing it. Time to spend it. Post-traumatic growth. Here's something nobody tells you when you're going through it. The hard season isn't the pause before your story starts. It might be the most important part of it. Psychologists Tedeschi and Calhoun proved in 1996 that people who go through real suffering and metabolize it, not bury it, develop capabilities that comfortable conditions simply cannot build. Deeper empathy, the ability to make decisions under impossible weight, a clarity of purpose that only comes from being broken and choosing to rebuild anyway. Abraham Lincoln was clinically depressed his entire adult life. Friends refused to leave him alone with sharp objects on his worst days. That same man guided a divided nation through its most catastrophic war and is considered one of the greatest leaders in history. His darkness wasn't the obstacle to his leadership. It was the source of it. Stop asking when the hard season ends. Ask what it's building. The difficulty you're carrying right now is not a detour. It is the qualification. Neural visualization. You've probably been told to visualize your goals. Most people do it vaguely, passively, and then wonder why nothing happens. Here's why it actually works when done right. Your brain cannot fully distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. In 1992, Dr. Bleslato ran a controlled study. One group physically practiced free throws, one group only visualized. Physical practice improved performance by 24%. Visualization alone improved it by 23%. The brain built identical neural pathways without touching a basketball. In 1985, Jim Carrey was broke and unknown in LA. He wrote himself a check for $10 million, post-dated it to 1995, and carried it in his wallet. In November 1995, he found out he was being paid exactly that for Dumb and Dumber. The check wasn't magic. It forced his brain every single day to treat success as the expected outcome, reshaping his decisions, his confidence, his risk tolerance across a decade. 5 minutes every morning. Put yourself inside the achieved goal specifically. Feel it. The brain builds toward what it repeatedly rehearses. Every session lays more track. Real quick, if any of this is hitting different, drop a comment below. Tell me which one of these you're going to use. I read every single one, and if you're not subscribed yet, do it now. Because the next video goes even deeper into the psychology of why most people stay stuck. You don't want to miss that one. All right, back to it. Hyper-focus. Stop trying to be good at everything. That is the most average ambition you could have. The people who change things are not well-rounded. They are dangerously focused in one direction. Hyperfocus is a neurological state, most common in ADHD and autism spectrum. where the brain locks onto a target with an intensity that makes everything else irrelevant. A 2021 study found people with ADHD are 60% more likely to start businesses with higher early innovation. Because they cannot stop. And pointed in the right direction, cannot stop is a superpower. Elon Musk was not a rocket engineer. He became one by consuming propulsion textbooks until he knew the field well enough to see what the entire industry was getting wrong. Then he built SpaceX, same move, Tesla, Neuralink, find it, lock in, don't surface until it's done. What's the problem you can't stop thinking about? That obsession is not a distraction, it's the assignment. Give it your sharpest hours and protect them like everything depends on it, because it does. Obsessive consistency. Everyone wants the breakthrough. Nobody wants to talk about the 10 years before it, where nothing seemed to be working. Research by Anders Ericsson, the foundation of the 10,000-hour rule, found that elite performance in any field is not primarily about talent. It's about the volume of deliberate, focused repetition over time. The difference between good and world-class is almost always just how long someone refused to stop. Jerry Seinfeld built one of the greatest comedy careers in history with one rule. Write a joke every single day. Don't break the chain. He didn't aim for brilliance. He aimed for consistency and trusted that brilliance would show up eventually. It did. Pick the one thing. Show up to it every day. Not when you feel like it, when you don't. The days you show up without motivation are the ones that build what motivation alone never could. Don't break the chain. Growth mindset. Two people fail at the same thing. One thinks, I'm not good enough. The other thinks, I'm not good enough yet. That one word is the difference between stopping and starting again. Stanford psychologist Carol Dweck spent decades studying this. People with a fixed mindset believe ability is born. People with a growth mindset believe ability is built. The research is clear. Growth mindset individuals recover faster from failure, take on harder challenges, and consistently outperform fixed mindset peers over time. Not because they're more talented, because they treat failure as data instead of identity. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school team. Walt Disney was fired for lacking creativity. Oprah was told she was unfit for television. Every single one of them heard no and treated it as information, not verdict. Use it. Next time you fail at something, ask one question before you react. What did this teach me? That question is the difference between a setback and a step. Use it every time. Delayed gratification. The most unsexy performance edge in this entire video, and probably the most powerful one. In the 1970s, Stanford psychologist Walter Mischel ran the famous marshmallow test. Children who could wait 15 minutes to receive 2 marshmallows instead of eating one immediately went on to have significantly higher academic achievement, better health outcomes, and greater career success decades later. The ability to choose your future self over your present self predicts more about your life than almost any other variable. Warren Buffett has been investing since he was 11 years old. He didn't become a billionaire until his 50s, not because he wasn't good, because he was patient. He called compound interest the 8th wonder of the world. Every year of waiting multiplied everything that came before it. Whatever you're building, stop looking for the shortcut. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is not a problem to solve faster. It is a process to trust longer. Every day you stay in it when others quit is a day the compound interest runs in your favor.